I'm pretty good at spotting BS when I see it. And since first encounter with so-called performance reviews, I knew them for what they really are. I bet you felt the same. Today, I've got some good news, some bad news, and a little bit of hope at the end. The good news is, we are right in thinking traditional performance reviews make no sense at all. That's to say the least. Everyone hates them, employees and managers alike. Why? Let me tell you. Performance reviews were introduced in 1913 at the dusk of the industrial age by Ford Motor Company as means to evaluate factory workers' performance on an annual basis. You heard it right. Factory workers evaluated once a year. Because why fix something now if you can wait a full year, right? But it worked for them. Why? They measured against objective criteria. Attendance, including punctuality, regular attendance, adherence to schedules. Quality of work, ability to produce high quality work that is up to required standards. Quantity of work, volume produced in a given time frame. I think we can all agree those are self explanatory and rarely confusing or vague. But the world moved on. The time has passed. The nature of work changed drastically. We moved into information age. We deal with knowledge and creative workers. It should come as no surprise that someone eventually noticed this change. Back in the 50s, a management consultant, Peter Drucker, recognized that knowledge workers are different from manual laborers. Shocking, I know. He developed a system which emphasized importance of ongoing feedback and coaching. The bad news is, your HR department and some senior managers never got the memo. And so, 100 years later, we are still doomed to use the tool that is not fit for purpose. But wait, you say, we are not measuring graphics designers' output in terms of quantity, or an engineering manager in terms of volume produced. Although, I'm afraid there may be some unlucky few unfortunate to go through this exercise every year. But even the slowest of the slow decision makers eventually figured out that we can't just take a hammer and use it on screws, or 100 years old industrial age tool and expect it to work in an information age. That quantity makes little sense when it comes to a creative activity. And so, instead of quantity of work produced, we measure business acumen, goal orientation, or, one of my favorite, organizational knowledge and judgment. Because surely everyone knows how to measure judgment. What is business acumen anyway? How do you measure it? But wait, there is more. Guess who is doing the evaluations? Yep, your colleague who was recently promoted to a team lead position. Haters call it an accidental manager, but there are no haters here. And by virtue of that promotion, they were blessed with a skill of true insight, allowing them to evaluate everyone objectively based on a set of vague criteria no one really understands. That makes total sense, right? This well known practice is called garbage in, garbage out. We end up with massive discrepancies within teams that no one seems to be able to explain. But who would bother investigating the root cause, right? That would be smart. We ain't doing smart things around here. The solution is there. We just need to calibrate. I have a separate video about this ridiculous practice, which I'll link in the description. Only a very sarcastic person would note that all this nonsense is not free. It takes time and costs money. But there are no sarcastic people around here, right? Or are there? It's actually worse than just time and money wasted. Harvard Business Review in 2016 found that companies that eliminated traditional performance reviews in favor of ongoing feedback and coaching saw a 10 to 15% increase in employee performance. A meta-analysis of 607 studies on performance management published in the Journal of Applied Psychology in 2017 found that traditional performance reviews had weak or negative relationship with employee performance and motivation. So for the love of all that is unholy, can we all just stop? Yes, we can. Several high-profile companies have already dropped annual performance reviews or have shifted to a more frequent and ongoing feedback model. Adobe, Microsoft, Deloitte, GE, Accenture, Netflix, IBM, Spotify, to name just a few. If they could do it, so can anyone else. So as you can see, there is still hope. and the movement grows. So go now and spread the word.